Welcome back to Builds Not Projects. In this week's Odyssey video, the only thing getting busted on it is me by the cops.
Well, we finally got the Odyssey back in the shop so we can get it fixed. I got my second ride on it ever. Of course, it was being towed by Spencer, but that's exciting. Hopefully, after we get it fixed, I'll get to ride it for real, and for more than a minute this time. We seem to have a real bad habit of breaking this thing very quickly.
Back in October, we got an early snowstorm and got like 8 inches of snow over like a 12-hour period. So we decided, it was Devin's birthday on a Saturday, so we decided we were going to come out and try to drive the Odyssey in the snow. Well, I may have gotten my truck buried in like a 3-foot snowdrift on the way over here. We kind of dug it out by hand, got through, got over here, and then when we started ripping the Odyssey, we ran into some issues with it, and then it's been sitting in the barn ever since. So we're going to show some footage of ripping it in the snow, and then we'll get started fixing it. So finally got a shop clock. It was free from the old Snap-on guy. I think I might spend too much money on the truck. Fortunately for me, the clutch is actually fairly easy to change in this thing. Didn't really mean for it to be, but kind of just got lucky and had it work out, so that's a plus. Gotta just pop this cover off now, just a bunch of 5mm Allen, so get started pulling all those off, then there's just a few more bolts and clutch is out. Obviously the clutch is very well shot. Should not be able to spin that by hand. So as you can tell, the steel on the left is very blue and got very overheated, as are most of the rest of them in this clutch pack, but the outside one's still fine. That's what they should look like versus what I did to them. So we'll go ahead and keep getting this thing torn apart. So we're getting ready to put the clutch back together. I sandblasted all the steel plates to get them cleaned up, and then got all the frictions. These ones, it says that you don't have to soak them overnight because of the kind of material they are. They're aramid paper. Not too sure what that is, but it's supposed to be good, so we'll try it. It just says to smear them. I'm going to just put them in the thing, dump oil on them, pop them out of there one at a time as I'm putting them in. So we'll get started doing that. Heavier clutch springs as well. I'm not too sure what clutch was in this, but these couldn't hurt, so we're going to get her put together. Out here at the junkyard behind the shop, and gonna cut this rear brake switch off of the street bike frame, and that way we can just use the mounting bracket and everything, and then we use that for brake lights. So get that thing cut off and then get back in there and get it put on. When I'm building wiring harnesses, I like to use a little masking tape, and you can just kind of tear off a short little piece, and you can just tape the wires together to hold them in place until you get them loomed. Masking tape's a little easier to use than like electrical tape, just because it's a little stickier and just really quick to just tear it off and hold it together, and it can rip apart real easy later on if you want to take it all back off. Also, right now working on adding in 3 extra wires for tack. It's going to be plopping the tack up in here. So this is just a tack off of the street bike. Figured it's easy enough to add on now and be kind of nice to have. It's just 3 extra wires. So we'll be getting that in, getting the lights hooked up, adding in a brake switch, and we'll have some lights on this thing. So working on building the mount for the tack, I've got some of this 3-inch exhaust pipe that I used when I put the 1UZ in my truck. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to build a mount. This will almost fit, not quite, so I'll end up cutting it and do a pinch bolt so that way I can take the gauge in and out easily. But I'm going to start out notching this out to build the mount to hold the gauge in here. So this is a switch off of that motorcycle. It's just a little pull style switch. It's got adjustment and stuff in it. Basically, I'm going to just hook it onto the brake pedal, and then I'm going to weld it to the underside of this plate, and that way we can have brake lights. Alright, so as you just saw, tack works, so that's all good, hooked up there. All the lights are wired in now, so those things are all good to go. Headlights, tail light, and then got the brakes hooked up too, so we got brake lights. So, all good to go. We're going to take this thing out and rip. Alright, so the driving of the Odyssey went well. Clutch seems to work good. Once in a lifetime experience of seeing a cop on this road. Only ever seen like one other one. He was probably out on a call in the area for thieving because there's been a lot of that going around. So he just happened to be driving through at the wrong time for me, but he was real nice. Didn't give it any tickets or anything. Just kind of told us to probably stay off the road. So that was fun. So that's all we've got time for this week. It was kind of a little bit of a different Odyssey video because we fixed it and didn't end up breaking anything else. All three of us actually got to drive it. Devin, myself, and my little brother Jesse all drove it. It was definitely good to have it running again. It was kind of sad to blow the clutch in it a couple months ago and then just put it in the barn and not do anything with it. Next week, we're going to be back on this bad boy, getting the drift trike going. We've got a welder coming in the mail. Should be here about partway through the week, so we should be able to get going on this thing again, get everything kind of welded up and go from there. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you already haven't, and stay tuned for next week's video.